This morning, Diana, thank you very much. One man who has always had his finger on the pulse of the economy is famed investor Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He's also written a recent New York Times op-ed called A Minimum Tax for the Wealthy. Mr. Buffett, it's a pleasure to have you here. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Before I get to things like the fiscal cliff, I'd like to ask you about Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The numbers are robust by just about any standard. What does it tell you about how consumers are feeling about the overall economy?
Consumers are feeling reasonably confident. The economy's been coming back for now 3 years, and now residential housing's coming back, so they're feeling better.
When you say they're feeling reasonably confident, what about big investors, guys like you? As we get to the end of this year and you start to look forward to the economy in 2013, how confident are you?
Well, I'm confident. I can't speak for others, but we buy stocks almost every day. So but I'm confident about the American economy over the decades to come. And we'll have ups and downs, and I can't really predict them. But the one thing I'm sure of is that America's a winner.
Let me read you something that David Coate, the CEO of Honeywell, said on Meet the Press on Sunday, talking about the uncertainty on Wall Street right now. He said, right now, I'm not all that bullish. And in fact, I'd say there's a great uncertainty that's just hanging over the entire economy because we're not confident our guys can govern anymore. There's a lot of money on the sidelines that people are willing to invest, but people like me aren't hiring now because we're not confident they can do it. That's a very troubling statement, isn't it?
Yeah, but at Berkshire Hathaway, we're investing $9 billion in plant and equipment in 2012. That's a record for us. That's 10% or more than we did last year, and that last year was a record. So I've got great confidence in America, but it's always uncertain. December 6th, 1941 was uncertain. We just didn't know it, you know.
But if a guy like Mr. Coates saying he's not hiring, not because the fundamentals of the economy he sees as being wrong, he sees Washington as being wrong. Yeah. That's a difficult situation to fix.
Well, it may be, but it's man-made and it can be man-corrected. And we've had plenty of times when people have gotten upset with Congress, although I'll admit we're sort of at a new time high on that now.
As we come to the fiscal cliff in the next month or so, and one of the sticking points, tax rates for the wealthy, you favor a minimum tax rate for the wealthy of 30% for taxable income between $1 and $10 million, 35% for income over that. Do you see the political will in Washington right now to accomplish that and come up with a compromise?
I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I mean, who knows what happens.
That deal?
That deal could happen, sure. I mean, I think there's a general feeling among the American public, certainly, and even among many in Congress, that the rich, like me, have been getting away with low tax rates, and it's time to make the tax rates more progressive.
One of the ideas being pushed out there by the right is that if you raise taxes on the wealthy, it will have a chilling effect on hiring and investment in this country. Part of the op-ed you wrote in the New York Times is this, bear with me. Suppose that an investor you admire and trust comes to you with an investment idea. This is a good one, he says enthusiastically. I'm in it. I think you should be too. Would your reply possibly be this? Well, it all depends on what my tax rate will be on the gain you're saying we're going to make. If the taxes are too high, I'd rather leave the money in my savings account, earning 1/4%. Only in Grover Norquist's imagination does such a response exist. Why do you think Republicans are clinging so tightly to that idea?
Well, I think they're worried about primaries next time, but I think you're seeing people peel away from that. I'll call you at midnight tonight, Matt, and I'll tell you I've got the greatest stock I've ever seen. You're not going to say, what's the tax rate going to be? You're going to say, what's the name of it?
So bottom line, would raising taxes on the wealthiest Americans have a chilling effect on hiring in this country?
No, and I think it would have a great effect in terms of the morale of the middle class who have seen themselves paying high payroll taxes, income taxes, and then they watch guys like me end up paying a rate that's below that, paid by the people in my office.
Mr. Buffett, we appreciate you being here. And by the way, we want to tell our viewers you're going to stick around. You're going to be back in our next half hour to discuss a new book that chronicles your career. It's always good to have you here.
Thanks, Matt.
At 7:09, here's Savannah.
All right, Matt, thanks. And now to a potential showdown in Washington today.